Testing, testing. One, two, three. We're all live right now on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans, getting ready for our post-game show of Game One of the NBA Finals. Carl Coulage for the Sports Hit List. As I make sure that we are live right now, I'm going to be sharing this video for all those who are watching us live to break down the game. And I'm going to bring in my contributors real quickly. Before I do that, let me just hit live here in the group. Special shout out to the group, the Sports Hit List group. They always pull up to the comments. They always watch our shows. Kudos to them for always pulling up to the lives. Game one just wrapped up, and we have a final score of 118 to 105 here. Let me bring in my contributors. We have Coach Womack joining us. We have Ziggy Zig also joining us. And we have Mike Miller as well joining us here for the panel. It's late night on the East Coast, 11:32 p.m. Ziggy Zig, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, okay. What's going on?
Mike, can you hear me?
What up?
And Coach is tapping in. Guys, just finished up game one, 118-105 is your final. Mike, what was your thoughts on Giannis? How did he look to you?
Ziggy. What up, Ziggy?
Good, Mike. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
Mac, what's going on?
Oh,
What's up, Mac?
hold on. Before we go, now cry at him. He looked like he was in a car. Go yell at him like you do me.
Listen, he knows.
Well,
he knows.
well,
He knows I'm gonna hear it from Deb. Like my creative director is gonna be in my ear about the car zooms. All right, y'all know this already.
I was in a fundraiser raising money for children to go to HBCU colleges. So if
Come
somebody's
on,
gonna
man.
yell at
Don't
me
even
for
try to
doing
give
that,
us come on, man.
look
You
at the
gonna do it
sign.
like
Look,
that.
no, look
We
at
can't
the
be
shirt.
mad at him now.
No, I can't.
Tell
look at
Deb
the
give him a
shirt.
pass on this one.
She gonna be
Look at
like,
this shirt.
everybody get a pass, yo. Everybody get a pass. Coach, you looking good though. I can't front. Looks good on
Thank
you.
you, man. Appreciate
Now,
it. Appreciate
what
it.
was your question, Carl? What you
No,
asked?
I'm saying, what was your initial thought of Giannis playing? Like, how did he look to you?
Well, I said earlier I didn't think he should play. He looked all right. He looked decent, but he didn't really look like he had any ill effects of the hyperextended knee. But he didn't really look good. But I think that's more defense than actually him being hurt.
All right. Ziggs, what were your thoughts of game one?
Like I kind of expected for Phoenix to come out and punch them in the face. Mike just said it. Giannis, he looked fine. He looked regular. He had a move where he did an in and out on DeAndre Ayton, and he took him straight to the paint. So he looked just fine to me on that knee. But he was basic, 6'11", I think, 20 points. That's not gonna get the job done against the Phoenix Suns. You saw they was cooking out there. Chris Paul took over the third quarter again, and it just kind of just set the way for them to go ahead and take this W. So shout out to the Phoenix Suns, man, because Milwaukee was looking real shaky out there. And Coach Bud, you on the hot seat. Everybody looking at you, boy, because I'm gonna let Matt go. We just gonna get back into it because that was atrocious, man.
Mhm.
Coach, I had a interesting stat that when Chris Middleton shoots over 40%, the Bucks are pretty much undefeated in the playoffs. He shot 46% and they lost. So what happened?
Game one. What have the Bucks been doing this playoff series? This series and almost every series has been about adjustments from the coach's perspective. You know, when you get to this level where Chris Paul, from what I saw, I watched half of the game and then caught some highlights at the end of the game. So I'm not gonna lie and say I saw the entire game. But from when I saw Chris Paul taking over, he did what he's supposed to do in game one. Now it's about if the Bucks can come back in game two and did what they did for the last three series. Can they still home court in game two? Like Mike talked about, when I did see Giannis playing defense, he did look a little tender because we all know with injuries, offensively, you control where you're going to go. But defensively, you can't control. You're reacting. And so injuries, you're a little scared to react on those, and you play offense a little better. Drew Holiday, that's not going to cut it. If you want to look at who played better in those last two games, sometimes what happens with injuries is teams get used to playing without their star players. And then when they come back, guys like Bobby Portis, less shots. Pat Connaughton, less shots. Drew Holiday, less shots. And now they got to get used to playing that kind of basketball where they give it to Giannis. Everybody just spreads out and they watch him work a little bit. So, they're gonna have to adjust, and I'm gonna see game two is gonna show me a lot.
Zig, I kind of noticed in the third quarter, Giannis didn't really play during that Phoenix stretch on the run. Was that a Budenholzer decision? Like, I was curious to know why Giannis wasn't playing because when the Suns went on there running that third quarter, Giannis was on the bench. Do you kind of understand why he wasn't in the game at that time?
The only reason that I could think why he maybe was not in the game was I don't know if he was trying to protect his knee or whatever, Coach Bruno. In that situation, this is why I said he's on the hot seat, because I don't understand how you have him on the bench when they're on this run like that. I've seen in these playoffs, it seems like whoever takes the third quarter ends up winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the case tonight. You got to have Giannis on the floor when you're going on those kind of runs to at least kind of, offset the scoring that Phoenix is doing. Shout out to Monty Williams, man. The game plan tonight was get Brook Lopez in the pick and roll. Get the big men in the pick and roll and attack them. That's what Chris Paul was doing. That's what Devin Booker was doing. And if for some reason they was able to guard up top, they dumping it down in the middle and they scoring in the paint. They went at Brook Lopez in the second quarter. I counted, I legit counted because I was taking notes. 5 straight times they ran the same kind of pick and roll and went at Brook Lopez, and they was able to score 3 out of 5 times. I'm gonna watch this game again, and I'm gonna see how many times they was really attacking Brook Lopez, because that seemed like that was all they was doing all night.
Mike, could you possibly answer the question as to why Giannis was benched in the third quarter when the Suns kind of went on their run when Chris Paul basically took over the game?
I agree with Zig. It was probably we all know this, when players come back fresh off an injury, you don't play them 49 minutes or it ain't 49 minutes, 48 minutes. You don't play them that much, and you get your normal rest in the third quarter. So I think they was just resting them. And again, they were trying to mix, game one is always this kind of feel out type of game to see what you can do. And so it was probably just about his knee, because people were saying he did look like he was limping a little bit. I didn't see him limp. I just think he didn't play well. Rusty, it's kind of like Trae Young in Game 6 in the last series. He played, but he's rusty. So, that comes with it. But definitely what Zig just said, and I said it before the series, the coaching is going to be the difference, because not only did they take advantage of Brook Lopez in the second quarter, then they did it again in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter. And you're just looking, everybody's yo, Zig, fellas, I was in my crib like, oh, yes, Brook Lopez, come. Y'all know how we used to do on the court. When we like the matchup, come here. I like that matchup. And they kept doing it. And in my mind, I was like, Bud, why are you waiting? That whole run was them doing it. They kept doing it. And when Bud eventually took Brook Lopez out, they're already down 12. House is on fire, get the women and children out. So now and then Brook Lopez didn't play for the rest of the game. So now they know it's got to be more Bryn Forbes. I think, to me, this is going to be the challenge for Bud. Like Zig said, we're going to have to see if he can really coach, because now they've already made you uncomfortable in this series. Because the one piece you normally play with, Brook Lopez, I think he can't play this series.
Carl, before you throw it to Mac, let me just say this real quick. Mike, I had saw at a point in the game, because you said Brook Lopez didn't play for the entire fourth. There was a point where he was running Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday, Pat Connaughton, and Forbes. That's not going to get the job done at all. So I just want to throw that in there.
But therein lies the problem, Zig, though, because that's what Phoenix poses. Once they force Brook Lopez out, now you're uncomfortable, because you're not used to playing that lineup that many minutes in a championship series. So now we're going to see how can you either he's going to take Brook Lopez out, or he's going to say, no, this is my rotation, and he's got to adjust somewhere else. That's why I want to hear from Mac of what they can do differently.
Well, Mac, one thing I want to ask is, if you notice with the defense, is that they crowded the paint and they did not allow any easy buckets, especially from Giannis, because we know that's how he likes to get most of his points. So knowing that strategy works for Monty Williams heading into game 2, how can Bud counter that? And again, we always talk about adjustments are key when it comes to these matchups and in the playoffs and the finals. So what adjustments can Coach Bud make? And what these guys also said about, Brook Lopez, is he a non-factor in this series? What adjustments can Coach Bud make here?
I wouldn't say he's a non-factor, but, they got to change something with how they're going to guard the pick and roll. The schemes, how they got the pick and roll is going to have to be done differently. And then, you got to watch that game too very early on. And if it is, you got to go with a smaller lineup. You got to go with a lineup that probably can switch. That's what Clippers were doing. That gave them a little bit of problems. and made the Suns get a little stagnant. They just started switching almost 1 through 5. Every single person on the court was able to switch. And, that's going to be the difference maker. That's Brook Lopez is going to have to be that guy who just comes in for little spurts. So they're going to have to go with pretty much, offensively, if they crowd, they have to hit shots. It's a shot maker's league. You got to hit shots. And, I didn't expect them to hit a lot of shots in this first game. Like usually most home teams and the bench from your home team plays better. Whose bench played better today? I'm going to have to say the Suns. The Suns bench played better today. And the role players and not superstars for the Bucks kind of struggle. And that's usually what happens at home the first game. And it's all about adjustment. So they got to hit.
I'm losing them. Coach, I'm losing you.
Shots. They got to see the ball go in the hole. And then, they got to connect them to go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can hear you now. You were coming in and out for a second.
All right.
So Ziggs.
All I said was.
Go ahead, Coach.
Sorry, all I was saying is about it's an adjustment league. It's an adjustment league. We're gonna see what they do game 2. That's gonna show me a lot in terms of are they gonna adjust or are they gonna be they're gonna be foolish and just stick to the same game plan.
All right, Ziggs. So really, there's nothing that Monty can do. Monty can just stick to the game plan in game 1. Going into game 2, or does he have to make adjustments as well? Because clearly
Monty ain't got to do nothing. He did what he was supposed to do. He put his players in a position to win. Shout out to Greg, because Greg alluded to it earlier. He said that Phoenix has the strongest supporting cast, and it showed tonight because the Bucks got absolutely nothing from the bench. You get nothing from the bench. Giannis is taking 11 shots to get 20 points, and then you're not getting to the free throw line. That's the recipe for disaster, because although the Bucks were hitting their threes, the Phoenix Suns did an excellent job of containing Giannis. They was out here committing foolish turnovers in the third quarter. And, again, big kudos to the Phoenix Suns, man. Monty don't have to do anything. He just got to continue doing what he's doing. Keep running that pick and roll and force Bud to make the adjustments, because I got game 1. I did my job.
Giannis went 6 of 11 from the field, 54%. Finished with 20 and 17.
Phoenix had 26 free throws, right? And you know what I mean. So
I guess, Mike, in the words of Shaq, he needs to have that barbecue chicken type game coming into game 2. He needs to have at least a 35 and 20 game, right? You would say, Mike?
They're not going to let him. That's the thing. We have yet. This is the unique part about this series is, unlike the other series that Giannis has played in this season, there's actually a team equipped to build this wall. Miami wasn't equipped to build the wall in the way that they did last year. They lost a lot of pieces. We know Brooklyn wasn't going to do it. And we know, again, with the Hawks, they weren't going to do it either. But DeAndre Ayton is solid. The kid had 22 and I think 19 rebounds. So they have the pieces with the physical defenders like Jay Crowder, like Mikal Bridges, like Torrey Craig off the bench. That's what Zig is talking about. Phoenix has a complete team. The Bucks, to me, have always been feeling like they're surviving. They survived to the finals. Not that they actually got there because they beat everybody, but they survived their way there. So again, in terms of Monty and adjustments and Giannis with a dominant game, he's in the last series, he was averaging I think 30 and 11. So maybe we could book him for a more dominant game. But if they're going to build that wall, he's going to keep shooting jump shots. They don't have a chance with him shooting jump shots. So Bud is going to be on his coach. As what Giannis got to do something too, but his coach going to have to devise a scheme. And really quick, Jrue Holiday, is what Mac kind of alluded to. A lot of, I think it was Mac or Zig, both
Mac. That was Mac.
Mac alluded to it. A lot of these guys was feeling good those last 2 games. They had to worry about Giannis so they could be ultra aggressive. But now Giannis is there, and so it takes away. Jrue Holiday goes back to being, well, I'm gonna just be a defender. But you can't do that in this series because they still need you. The 27 you was getting against the Hawks, they need you to get that now. So,
but Mike, but Mike, here's the thing though. He did take more shots than Giannis, to be fair. I mean, he shot 4 of 14. He just missed them. 28% from the field. He did take more shots than Giannis though.
It was his
where are your
aggressiveness
shots coming? Where are your shots?
Okay, fair.
There you
coming?
go.
Fair.
There you go. It's that he wasn't aggressive like he. If you look at those last two games, Game 5, Game 6 in the Atlanta series, in the post and super aggressive. This Game 1, he's shooting jump shots.
A lot of jump shots,
which is what he did against Brooklyn. So, and when Trey was cooking them early on. So Jrue Holiday, this is reminding me a little bit of a couple of years ago when Jrue Holiday and Rondo spanked up Portland in the first round, and then they went against Clay and Steph, and he looked bad. Now, I'm not saying Chris Paul, Steph, but he looked bad in that next round because you got to remember, when you talking about guard play, Chris Paul, perennial all-star. Devin Booker, he just made it this year, but he's a perennial all-star talent. Jrue Holiday was an all-star one time years and years ago. He's a good player. Chris Middleton is one of those all-stars, but a bubble. They playing against actual legitimate all-star guards. So we're going to have to see if they can step up.
Coach, we have Travis in the comments, and Travis asks, how about bringing Giannis off the bench? Why didn't they? Would that have been an option because he's coming back from injury to kind of ease him back into the game? Could that have helped his game out? Or is that a potential going into game 2 to maybe bring him off the bench to kind of, get him?
Game. My bad. Go ahead, Mac. My bad.
He said he that's what he said. He said bringing him off the bench. He said Giannis is coming off injury. Would it have been crazy to bring Giannis off the bench? That energy?
Wait, do I come on a football show asking if we should bench Tom Brady? don't come on these basketball shows asking these wild questions, man. These crazy questions. Didn't you? Your man just
you can't shoot the messenger. You listen. I'm reading.
No.
I'm reading.
Told you that already.
Wait. Let me finish. And all jokes aside, because he's asking the question because he really wants to know the answer and he really wants to get a perspective on it. And no, you do not put your star player on the bench. You allow him to come into the game the same way he's been coming to the game for almost his entire NBA career. So no, you do not switch it up. If he's healthy enough to go, you put him out there and you just try and monitor his minutes. That's it.
I did read it, Travis. He just answered your question. All right. So Zig, game 2, who you have here? Because clearly you picked the Bucks in 7. So do we tie it up or do the Suns go 2-0?
Bro, the way this is looking, I might have to change my entire.
You don't feel good about that pick at all.
After one game?
One game? I didn't expect it to be this bad. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to.
It's game 1, though, Zig. It's game 1, man.
I'm not going to change it just yet because, like y'all was saying, it's game 1, right? And it was good defense, but Milwaukee was also missing shots. So to answer your question, Carl, I'm gonna go with Milwaukee in game 2. I don't think they're gonna have this kind of I don't even know. I'm lying. I don't know.
I can't believe you just said.
I don't know, man. Milwaukee got me tight.
Oh my God.
I don't know, man. They got me tight. I've been capping for Jrue Holiday for a long time, and for him to come out.
It's game 1, man.
It's game 1, Zig.
But listen, you know what? But listen, in all honesty, we always say it's game 1. But Mike, you said it earlier. It counts. It's still part of the.
That's how I look at it.
You can't just keep saying that. Like
you can't keep saying that.
That's what the Bucks is saying. Wait, that's what Coach Bud said.
You can't keep saying it if the Bucks been losing game 1 and still winning the series. So why we can't keep saying that?
That's true, Wack. That is true.
So
Ziggs, the Suns go up 2-0.
No. I said Milwaukee.
He said Milwaukee.
Okay, Milwaukee. Okay, Mike. 2-0, 1-1.
2-0. I think the adjustments are going to be the adjustments are better made probably when the Bucks get home, because then, like Max said, like we all know, the role players start to feel good. The Bryn Forbes and all these players start to feel a little better about themselves, and then some of those shots start to go in. But I think in game 2, Phoenix has shown you they're going to go up. They've been consistent going up 2-0. They went 2-0 in except for the Lakers series. They've been going up 2-0. That crowd is electrifying. And again, I think there's still going to be some discomfort in game 2, especially if Phoenix comes out punching them and Brook Lopez has to come off the court again, unless Bud switches his lineup automatically. If he switches his lineup in game 2, then that's panic. That'll be panic. You can make tweaks. You don't switch your lineup in game 2. So that's panic. So I'm taking Phoenix 2-0.
All right, Coach, who you got? Are you going with the split or Phoenix takes up 2-0?
I'm gonna keep it simple. 1-1. That's my pick.
Because
1-1.
What?
I just think They're going to make the adjustments. I think we're going to get a good finals. I have this as a toss-up finals. Phoenix or the Bucks in 6. I mean 7.
Oh, you got to give us a pick because you didn't give us a pick.
No.
Preview.
Can you let me finish?
Okay.
Started off to the city.
I got the Bucks. I got the Bucks winning because that's who I think is going to prevail. But if you were a betting person, I don't think you could go wrong in taking either team in 6 or 7 games. But I got the Bucks winning in 7. I think they split the series next game.
Can I ask Mac a quick question?
Go ahead.
Mac, would you roll out a Bucks lineup that features Giannis, Tucker, Forbes, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton?
Yeah, you can sub out Forbes and even put Connaughton in that situation if you wanted to, or you can go a little bit bigger and throw Portis in that situation. I think you can go with any of those guys if you want to go small. Brook Lopez, until he kills somebody, you just got to be able to go off that and figure out another lineup.
All right, Max sounds tired, y'all.
I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm great. I'm good.
So so before I let you guys go, we're saying Brook Lopez is no longer a factor in the series after the first game.
No, Max said he's still a factor.
No, Max said he's still a factor. He's still a factor.
Max said he's still a factor.
He's still a factor.
Yeah, they got to just figure out
one game. You don't know yet.
Right. So again, normally the way he plays because you can't cloud the paint with both of them. So Brook is usually playing outside. So now we know that they basically eliminated Brook. How do you play?
I don't think he is a factor. I think
right. That's what I'm saying.
He is. Yeah.
Okay. So Mac, how do you even play Brook? Like, do you play him outside in the paint? Do you play him, at his regular 3-point spot where he's there on the island shooting, or do you play him low post?
Play him in his regular spot. If they get off to a good start in game 2 and Brook Lopez has 8-9 points, we're gonna change our minds and say he's a factor. Everybody's one game away, 1 quarter away from changing the trajectory of where the series is going. As professionals, I think they're going to make those adjustments because I don't think any game is heads or toes better than the other team. So that's why I think he'll be able to have a good series, but he won't be a factor like MVP like he was last series, but he'll be a factor enough to make sure that the series goes 6 or 7 games.
One thing I have to mention is Jay Crowder struggled and they still won. Jay Crowder went 0 of 8, but he still did the little things. He had 9 rebounds. We noticed that earlier on, but when you have Devin Booker 27, Chris Paul, DeAndre 8 and 22, Chris Paul 32, Bridges with 14, and your bench comes through, do you really need a Jay Crowder to score any points? It kind of goes under the radar. It's not really. It's tough.
Shout out to Rick because he was talking about DeAndre and he has to be a factor. And Mike said it earlier, 22-19 on 8 of 10 shooting. That's 80%.
He's been doing that the whole playoffs, though.
Whole playoffs.
He is. Again, those are Shaq's words. Barbecue chicken down there for him. It's been easy for him. So, guys, thank you for joining us here on the Sports Hit List post game. Not sure there'll be a post game for game 2 and 3. I have some other business to attend to those nights. But I will definitely be back for a game 4 post game, and I'll definitely keep you guys posted as to how the schedule goes along as the finals go along as we wind down the NBA season. But then the real NBA season kind of begins because we got free agency looming in the NBA draft.
Patty, yo.
I had to throw that out there. I gotta throw it out there, Mike. Come on, you know the vibes. We gotta talk about some free agency. Free agency's looming. That means everybody's starting fresh. You know how the hit list streets do it. Everybody's gonna have bragging rights again. We all been on vacation, but the minute free agency starts, everybody's gonna start chatting about who's getting who, what's going down with trades, what's going down with the draft. The Knicks gonna be talking. We got the Pacers gonna be talking. The Celtics gonna be talking. So we know the vibes when it comes to free agency.
So how you say the Knicks? This is crazy, man.
Because I looked at you. Because I looked at you. I looked at you, Coach. Coach, I looked at you. I looked at you first. I'm looking at you first.
In the words of Michael Jackson, look at the man in the mirror. Look at the man in the mirror. All right. Jeez.
I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys have a good night and please stay safe. One love.
Fellas.
Later.